Hello everybody and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. I'm coming to you from my car. It's Monday night. I didn't get a chance to do any 5am clubs today. I was at home just chilling out on the Monday following Anzac Day. So I got a bit tired over the weekend, just running around and going to the dawn service at 4:30 in the morning and all of that sort of thing. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to catch up and do some 5am clubs as best I can. So I'm in the car here, I've got the music in the background and I've got the light happening in the car, so I'm sure there's people walking past. I've got neighbours across the road, I've got the lady in the kitchen across the road, probably wondering what the hell's happening. But it won't be the first time she's seen me in the car, so hopefully she'll understand what's happening. So today I'm going to take you on a journey. It's a book summary, an interesting book summary, and it's entitled How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. And it's written by an author named Scott Adams. And Scott Adams was the cartoonist who did the Dilbert cartoons. And he talks about his life and his experiences, and he just shares some insights that I'm sure that we're all going to have a bit of a chuckle and a laugh about, but also understand how realistic and be able to relate to what he has to say, because in order to succeed, in order to get through life, we all need to go through our fair share of failures. And I say that with a big laugh on my face and a big smile, because we all have horror days and horror moments that we live to regret. But it's important to understand that all of those mistakes, all of those stuff-ups are an opportunity to learn, to grow, develop. And so let's see what this author has to say. He kicks off with a wonderful and a very interesting quote, which is taken from his book, where he says, the most important form of selfishness involves spending... What's happening there? That was interesting. I was catching in on somebody's phone call. Don't know how that happened. But let's continue. Let's continue the vlog here. It's amazing with technology what happens. Anyway, let's go back to what we were saying. So the most important form of selfishness, according to the author, involves spending time on your fitness, eating right, pursuing your career, and still being able to spend quality time with your family and friends. So that's being selfish. Selfish is having it all. So it's good, according to the author here, to be selfish, to look after yourself, to look after your fitness, to look after your diet, to pursue your career, to make sure that you have a fulfilling career, but also to have time for yourself, for your family, for your friends, and your community. So, we have a lifetime, and lifetime is a long time for most people. So we get to live many, many years. So we need to keep on going, just one step at a time, as my friend Johnny D always tells me. He goes, Jimmy boy, just keep on going, mate. Just keep on going, one step at a time, and we'll all get there. We don't know where we're getting, but we're all going to get there, one step at a time. So the author here talks about some really, really interesting things, and I'm sure you're going to appreciate this. Because a lot of the books that I've done, a lot of the books that I've reviewed and included here in my 5am club talks about they talk about goals and the importance of goal setting and having clear goals and all of that sort of thing. Goals. But what the author here says is he puts a different spin. It puts a different spin on this whole goal thing. And he says that whilst goals are important, they also have their disadvantages. And one disadvantage is that they're in the future. So they're part of our future. They're not part of our present. And the other thing is that they cause anxiety. They cause disruption. They cause us to feel, incomplete, unfulfilled all the time. And that in itself, to some people, I'm not talking about all people, but for some people that could cause them problems, especially depending on whether or not they've got their own challenges. Let's just put some music on again to see what happens. So what he says is, rather than having goals, you're probably better off having a focus on the system. So rather than focusing on goals, focus on the system, focus on the process, and believe in the process. So focus on the process. Let me just change this music so we have some background music. Focus on the process. So where's this going to take us? Because by focusing on the process and not being far too specific, it gives us time and some room to adjust our plans and to not be stressed. And it makes timing and the whole time thing irrelevant, because at the end of the day, as the author says, we're growing and developing, and we're heading to a destination. So the important thing is to know where you're heading. All right, have the goal, and just to do whatever you need to do now to get one step further along the process, but to believe the system. Believe the process, because by just doing on a regular basis, you'll eventually get there. I remember when I used to work at IBM, they used to say, look, just satisfy and delight the client. If you're satisfying and delighting the client, the profits will come, because you're going to win their heart and minds. And I guess the author here is suggesting the same thing. Don't worry about achieving the goal. Just focus on the process and believe in the process, and eventually your steps will lead you somewhere. And if they lead you not exactly where you want to be, then change direction and keep on taking steps. And sooner or later, we're going to get there. But the journey, as we all know and we all hear, is probably more important than the destination. That's where we learn to grow. That's where we become who we are and who we become ourselves, our being. We express our being, and it's all about the process. Because he said here, goofs use goals, whereas winners use systems. And how do we use systems? So we can learn from other people. He goes on to say here that it's important through our lives to sample different jobs and to try and work out what you're good at, what you enjoy, what you're really comfortable in doing. Because it's the things that you really enjoy that you end up becoming really, really good at. And if you want to really know what you're good at, the best way of identifying it is looking at the things where you're happy to take the biggest risks at. So what they're saying here is that if you are willing to take big risks or to take risks at doing things, then that's an indicator, a strong indicator that what you're doing is something that you're really good at because you can assess the risk, and it's something that you really enjoy. So look and document. Have a look around yourself and document, and sit down and think, what areas of my life do I like taking risks in? And that will hopefully direct you to a place where you tend to be pretty comfortable and pretty good at, and you know pretty well, and intuitively you get it. So he also says here, try different things until something sticks. That's why when we're young, that's why when our children are young, we get them to try different things. They try different sports, they try different social groups, they learn different instruments, they read different books, they do different subjects. So the author here is saying it's important to try different things until something sticks. And the most important message to come out of this book is that we need to learn how to use space and time to manage our energy. What he says here, and this is a really, really fine and a real pertinent point. It's very, very profound, so listen up. And he says here, don't worry about finding your passion and what you're passionate about. He said it's better to focus on the things that give you energy. Focus on the people who energize you. Focus on the jobs, the places that spark you up, that create a chemical explosion that really fulfill you. Because you can't bullshit chemistry. You can't bullshit that feeling, that spark that you get when you're with someone, when you're doing something or you're experiencing something. Now, there's a limited number of things in our lives that really fulfill us and engage us with all our senses. So what the author is saying is that don't be passionate about doing things, but be on the lookout for the things that spark you up, because the things that spark you are the things that make you or express who you are. So it's a real powerful lesson. I really like that. I really enjoy that. I'm going to incorporate it in a lot of the messages that I put forward on Jim's 5 a.m. Club. So he said something here that I can really relate to. He says, an energized person. If you're energized, an energized person doesn't worry about failure. You know, if you're fired up and you're energized and you're positive, the last thing you worry about is failure, because it's the furthest thing from your mind. I never think about failure. I just think about doing things and enjoying the process, enjoying the system, following the system, believing in the system. And I just love, and as he says here, love iteration, love small incremental improvements, and just keep on doing, keep on making fine changes until you find what works. And he says that there are 3 angles. 1, 2, 3. 3 angles that you can look at. There are activities. And you need to find out what activities are we involved in our lives that are exciting, and what activities are draining. And I guess do more of the things that are exciting and less of the things that drain the living daylights out of you. The next point is space. It says here something which is really powerful. We need to keep our spaces separate. Keep our work, play, and rest spaces separate. That's why with COVID-19, working from home could be mentally challenging for quite a few people, because you're using one space for all three things. So where possible, keep those spaces separate. Keep social circles separate, because if you integrate different social circles, then that in itself gets in its way, and it's counterproductive. And the last one is time. And he said that we need to adjust our life to suit our internal clock. Now, if you're a morning person, then do more things in the morning. If you're a PM person, do more things in the evening. Now, know what makes you tick and leverage it. Do it, whatever you need to do to serve you. And also let other people know, those three different things, and what time works best for you. Because life, success, the journey, he says here, takes time. And he says that we need to keep our energy levels peaked at all times. So we need time to rest, and we need to do short bursts at what we love most to achieve fulfillment in our life. Because the bottom line is that when I'm happy, when I'm fulfilled, then I'm more in a position to be generous to my wife, my children, my work peers, my friends, my greater family. So don't go through life being the martyr, the person who sacrifices everything for everybody else, unless, of course, it gives you great happiness. And there are people who get great happiness by giving. But there are also people around us who give a lot, but also whinge a lot, and create a lot of pain. So if you're a person who loves giving, but is also a whinger, then you need to spend more time on yourself so that you don't continue the whinging, and that you fulfill yourself. And as I say, once your cup overflows, then you can become generous with your time and your love, and you can help others around you. But if you feel as if you're missing out along the way, then you're going to go through life and looking back and have regrets. So a powerful lesson from this book. So I'll finish off now. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club, where we did a book here entitled How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big by Scott Adams. I'll finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable. And I look forward to coming to you again from a different place, different location, with a different message. A message of empowerment, where we can live, learn, and pass it on, where we can help each other get through the morning, get through the day, and we can be the wind beneath our wings, the wave beneath our board, the zephyr that billows our sails and flutters our flags, and the big turbines that churn up the water and propel us to where we want to go. So let's make the most of these sessions, these sessions where we have shared learnings and shared experiences. And as we said, it's all about growing, developing, and learning and joining the dots. The purpose of Jim's 5am Club is to share the wisdom of other people, OPE, other people's experiences. Because we've all got knowledge, we've all got wisdom, and we've got models and systems which work and which don't work. So it's good just to share them amongst the group, each other. Because as one famous author says, people learn from mistakes, but nobody said that you have to make the mistakes, that they have to be your mistakes. That is a powerful lesson. The important thing is that we can learn from other people's mistakes and other people's successes. And as I said before, it's called OPE, other people's experiences. And that's what I bring to you with Jim's 5 a.m. Club. So let's make the most of it. Let's make it serve us. I've got 140 to go, and I've got about probably about 30 days to go. So I need to do 4 or 5 a day. This is my 3rd for today, but I'll do a lot more tomorrow. So I'll do some prep tonight. So thank you very much once again. Yassas, Filakia, and we'll chat again from Jim's 5 a.m. Club. Bye. Yeah.